Where does this leave 135 now? Because we talked about all those names there. Like you've got obviously Garcia, Lopez, Lomachenko, Davis, Haney. Like things are really interesting right now. Like where does this after this fight? Where does it leave things? If we're going by your matchmaking, so to speak.
Well, Ryan is the number one contender for the WBC belt that Devin Haney has.
Right.
Javante is the WBA champion in 130 and at 135. Teofimo Lopez is the Lineal Ring Magazine champion. He is the WBO champion. He has a piece of the WBA, and he has the IBF. And yeah, he has the IBF. So it really comes down to what Teofimo does.
It's like a domino effect, right? Like once Lopez gets his, then things will follow, right? It's kind of what you're saying.
Correct. Yeah. So he needs to decide: is he gonna vacate? Is he going to fight a mandatory? Is he gonna move up in weight? It's really he needs to determine because he's holding on to about 2 belts. He has about 2-3 belts he's holding on to. So he needs to decide where he's gonna go and which route he's gonna go with it. And as far as Ryan is the mandatory for Devin Haney's WBC belt. And honestly, I want the fight to happen. I want it to happen now, but I don't see them trying to cash in on that right now. At least the promoters I'm talking about. The fighters want to fight, but I don't see the promoters saying, all right, it's time to cash in on this right now.
I mean, look how long it took for Pacquiao and Mayweather to fight. You know what I mean? Like they're smart. They got to get what they can out of the fighter. And also, like I said, you got to win. If you lose now, like I said, it really sort of derails the train a little bit. And then you got to reassess. And there's all other business that goes into that as well. And that kind of gets me to my next question. We've got a lot of draws right now in boxing. I mean, I think boxing's booming right now. I mean, in terms of, where you look over the last, 5-10 years. Remember when Floyd left, everyone's like, oh, what's going to happen? And you've got all these big names now. So looking at, we talked about Garcia and the implications of how big this win was. You've got Tyson Fury, you've got Anthony Joshua, you've got Canelo Alvarez, you've got Garcia in that conversation, you've got Pacquiao. Is Garcia the biggest name right now in terms of age, in terms of hype, in terms of just, tapping into that younger audience as well too, factoring that in? Do you think where would you rank Garcia in terms of big boxing?
By far. Okay, so Garcia reminds me of Oscar De La Hoya. Like that is like the perfect way to look at it. He's the pretty boy. The girls love him. Regular people that don't watch boxing every day know of him. All the young people know of him. And basically, what he's done is he has utilized the YouTubers. He's utilized all of the influencers, and he's made them a part of this boxing world, right? Which in turn, he got all of their fans. So now he's an internet sensation. So everything now is digested via Twitter, Instagram, and all social medias, and that's where Ryan is killing these guys, all the rest of the fighters at. His social media presence is what makes him bigger than everybody else. But is he better? That is to be determined, Right. But regular people, we talked about this before too. Regular people are easily fooled and gullible when it comes to fighting. They're novice. They don't really know. They just know what they see and then like, oh, he's really, really good. But people that really watch this and really are part of this game, they could see who's the best, who's good, who's not good, who's going to be great. So it's all there. It's all there for the taking.
And it's perception is everything, right? I mean, for us, like obviously we know who the biggest draws are, who the best fighters are, but to the average casual fan, I mean, Garcia probably in a lot of people's eyes is the biggest draw, is the best guy because that's all they're seeing. Because like you said, the YouTubers aren't necessarily watching Tyson Fury. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a different audience that he's tapping into, and I think it's something that I'm sure a lot of fighters are pissed, but at the same time, you got to give the guy his due. He's really tapping into an audience that
We were sitting there watching the fight, right?
Yeah,
and the row behind me, I look back. It's all YouTubers.
I bet. Yeah.
And there was roughly 20 million subscribers behind me, standing right behind me from YouTube. I'm not even exaggerating. They were all sitting right there watching him, all dressed in Ryan Garcia stuff. And I'm just like, wow, this guy brought all these YouTubers from LA over here to watch him. This is crazy, man. So can you imagine the marketing that goes on with just him tapping in with all these people? It's a smart move on his behalf. He's young and he understood what to do. So kudos to him. So he's going to continue to grow and get bigger. And it reminds me of Oscar. It really does remind me of Oscar.
Bye.